Welcome, new students, to your orientation at Uganda Christian University. We're so excited that you're joining us, and the journey that is ahead of you is going to be great. And you're starting it off well with the kind of information that you need to be successful in your studies. My name is Crystal Luca, and I'm the Director of Academic Affairs here at Uganda Christian University. The Directorate of Academic Affairs is located in the Division of Academic Affairs under the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. We offer a lot of important services and coordinate a lot of important areas that you're going to engage in during your time of study. That includes applications. Most of you have either come in person or applied online with an application form and gotten admissions. We also handle registration, exams, transcripts, and graduation. So it's a section that you need to really be familiar with. There are also a lot of important policies attached to this directorate that you have information about in your admission packet. And as I go through my presentation, I'll draw your attention to those things. To start us off, I'll talk about admissions. By now, you should have received an admission letter, and not just a letter, but an admission packet that contains a variety of information. I want to touch on the issue of booking and fees. On your admission letter, there's an area that talks about confirmation fee. So confirmation fees are fees that, it's a fee that you pay, and it's on your letter, that reserves your space. It essentially communicates that, yes, I've gotten my admission, I intend to be a student of Uganda Christian University. So you'll pay keen attention to the percentage there, because most of it is credited back to you as tuition. So essentially it's a deposit on your tuition, but there's a small portion that comes back to the university for administrative fees. So pay keen attention to that. And again, feel free to come by the office or email admissions@ucu.ac.ug in case you have questions about that. So the admissions office also handles any changes in program. We're not encouraging you to not follow through on your choices, but in case you need some counseling or think that you want to change programs, that's possible during the first 3 weeks of registration. I'll go on to registration, which is a very important issue. Registration is a requirement for all students. You all need to register. And when you register, you've made a payment and you've come to the academic office or engaged on your online portal to say, yes, I'm here for the semester. I paid this much money. Please update my records. Many students make the mistake of not following through, especially new students, on this registration issue. It's important. It's the start of your transcript. You're building your transcript. You're ensuring that each semester you're in the system, that there's a place where your results are being attached, that you are qualified to do exams and submit coursework and access services. So make sure that you register. If you have any questions about registration, you can email registration@ucu.ac.ug, or you can come by the Academic Affairs building if you're on campus. When you report, you will be given deadlines. Those deadlines will guide you, because you don't necessarily have to pay a lump sum of money. So they'll guide you on what percentages you need to pay and by when in order to adhere to the registration guidelines. I have some samples with me of passbooks. When you register, you're going to get a passbook, something that looks like this, and it will be updated. It will be like a tangible record for yourself of which semesters you've updated for and what percentage. So make sure that you register and have your passbook. The fees that are due are indicated on your admission letter. Again, if you have questions about fees, you can email admissions@ucu.ac.ug, but read carefully through the information in your admission packet. I spoke about policies. There are many policies at UCU that affect you, and they're brought about to ensure that we operate well and that you access services regularly and fairly. So please try to read them carefully and closely. On the UCU website, which is www.ucu.ac.ug, you'll find a section under admissions called Important Documents. And there are 3 policies there: the Student Code of Conduct, the Undergraduate Academic Student Handbook, and the Postgraduate Student Handbook. You need to go through and read that information carefully. It has information about registration. I'm speaking briefly here, but it has information about registration, about exams, about coursework, about timetable, about something called the AgroTact, which is if you're not able to take an exam because of sickness or loss of a loved one, what do you do? These are all very critical to your study. And you may not anticipate that they'll affect you, but should they affect you, you'll be aware of them and know what to do. So there's a policy acknowledgement form that when you register, you'll be required to sign. It will give you the location of these policies, and you'll sign off and say that you know that you're required to read them, and you'll indicate that you have read them, and you'll be bound by them. So please do read those policies. Speaking of documents in your admission packet, some of the things that you're going to sign off for are that policy acknowledgement form. There's a registration form where you'll need to attach copies of your academic documents and ID, but you also need to present original copies so that we can verify authenticity. There's also a matriculation oath. That oath is connected to the Student Code of Conduct and essentially lets you know what the expectations are of you as a student of Uganda Christian University in terms of how you interact with the administration of the university and each other. There's also an orientation information sheet. It's very important that you attend all your orientation sessions. They've been pre-recorded, like mine is right now, but at a certain point, we're going to be able to engage and interact over Zoom so that you can ask questions. I'll also give you some contact information at the end of this presentation. Our induction service, along with orientation, there's something called induction, is going to be held on 3rd February 2022. Induction is something that's held every semester that you need to make sure to attend. You'll be given details about when the induction service will happen. Make sure you attend and make sure you participate. I assure you, you won't have to answer any questions or make any introductions. It's just a time for you to stand up and be acknowledged by the Vice Chancellor and the community as a new student of Uganda Christian University. I'd like to highlight some areas of the policies, which I told you to read. So 1 has to do with the importance of registering each semester. But 2, UCU implements a blended learning model. So while some of your classes will be traditional and face-to-face, others will be carried out online and using online resources. There is an orientation session on e-learning, and your faculty orientation session will also give you more information about that. But embrace this new style of learning. It's a new normal, and it will be an added skill to you and an advantage in terms of how to utilize technology to learn. Class attendance is something that's required, so hit the ground running and make sure that you engage, whether it's a face-to-face session or online. Make sure that you attend classes. Exams and assessments can be sit-in, they can be take-home, or they can be online. And the satisfactory performance or their performance parameters that are set that you have to achieve in your coursework in order to access your exams. So make sure that you're diligent with your studies. Again, I'm on policy highlights, and this is another one regarding your progress. There's something called normal progress and something called problem progress. So if you fail 3 or more papers, you will essentially be asked to wait a bit and repeat the semester. So always aim to achieve grades that will see you through the semester and keep you on normal progress. There are many sessions, like I said. This is one, but we're available to engage even further on some of the things I've touched on some of the resources that I've talked about. There will be another Q&A where you'll be able to ask questions, but you can also send questions to admissions@ucu.ac.ug or registration@ucu.ac.ug, or you can come into the office if you're on campus. In conclusion, let me encourage you to hit the ground running and to live out your faith. UCU is a Christian university, and we try to bring those two things together. That's what we aim to do, living out your faith and your vocation. So hit the ground running, learn as much as possible as you start your journey here at UCU, and reach out for help whenever you need it. Thank you.